So school. Yup. 'Tis a place of growth, both mental and physical. Well, here, at the Suffolk County Charter School, it was more of a regression of those two categories, as we'll soon see. It's located here, towards the south end of the map, near Hyde Park and Quincy Quarry. However, this is not where our tale begins. No sir. For me, anyway, it begins here, near the docks of Boston, by the Shamrock Tap House and the Yangtze. Keep in mind, however, where the following event is located is random. The bodies of 3 raiders can be found here, their causes of death unknown. At least they were until we inspect their bodies, and find this, the intervention note on one of them. Upon reading the note, it appears one of the 3, Hank, was eating a lot of paste they found in Suffolk. It has put him on edge. He acts aggressively towards his 2 friends, and has a crazed look in his eye. He even shot some people in the back, when they chose to flee instead of fight, which, for this particular group of raiders, is against their code, though they're probably still arses. One of them wrote it all down as he's afraid that if they confront Frank about it, it will result in him killing him. As his friends, they just wanted to help him, make him give up the paste. Well, they're all dead, so clearly that did not go well. The person that has the paste, who I assume is Hank, does not have the note. I think he went insane and killed the other 2 before they gave him the note, then died of his wounds he received whilst doing so. Or the person with the note was Hank, and the person with the paste was one of his friends, trying to get the paste off of Hank. Either way, they all died, most likely by Hank's hands. Our map is updated after we read the note, and that brings us to the school. The outside's pretty bombed out, with some parts collapsed and broken, lying open to the world. A lone ghoul can be found huddled and stacked away in the corner. Pink. So we know already that within the school is a paste that turned a raider psychotic, and as we'll soon see, it too is pink. So clearly it affected people in some way. Many of these pink ghouls can be found dotted around the playground out the back, along with the corpse of one person who looks like they came out for some fresh air, or drugs. Either way, all that's left now is to have a look inside this lovely and charming school. Smell that? That old bombed out, gone to shit smell? I live for that. So the place is completely wrecked, and when you enter here you will, like right now, see many pink ghouls lying on the ground, and one corpse. Except in your case they're all playing dead and will mob you as soon as look at you. One thing to note is that I activated that protector on and killed everything in here. So why it's back in its station and why this school's alive, I don't know. The residents of the building are a mixture of the corpses and the pink ghouls, and given what we already know of the paste, the 2 are obviously connected. The toilet, oddly enough, is mostly fine. Weird, right? Usually with toilets in these places there's some strangeness afoot, shenanigans, like someone dead face down in one, but in this case the wall's just wrecked. The office area opposite the toilets gives us some destroyed skeletons, scattered about on the ground, and a lot of drink that looks like it was hid in the cabinets. Also, we see our first instance of the pink food paste inside this building. It regenerates health and increases our endurance by 1. However, the terminal next to this one is actually the weird thing here, as while we can access it, there's not really any reason to. It's completely blank and you can't interact with it any other way apart from loading holotapes. To the right of this terminal is the door to what I assume was the principal's office, in which case, this is the charming woman's corpse. Her terminal contains but one document. This school was participating in the NAPP, a Nutritional Science Program. Only their paste, the pink food paste, was allowed to be consumed while the school participated. And if they did not comply, the funding they got as compensation would be revoked. Now they were probably testing it for the first time, which explains why everything went to shit so quickly. We can also find her first school announcement here, for the 18th on her desk, which we will now listen to.
Good morning, teachers and students. It is another great week here at Suffolk County Charter School. I hope everyone is getting their costumes together for the annual Halloween festival. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that no outside food is to be brought on campus as of this week. This goes for faculty as well as students. We have received generous donations for our implementation of the Nutritional Alternative Paste Program. We owe our benefactors strict adherence to the rules they have set forth. Thank you for your attention. This is Principal Hudson, signing off.
So the principal took a large amount of funding from this organisation, most likely a government-affiliated one, and in exchange they would let them test their shitty paste on the students here, which is completely ludicrous, and from the get-go you know this won't end well. As of right now, it's clear the paste affected the children in some way, as these ghouls are most likely what became of the wee tykes. The classroom is our next place of interest. Firstly, this one on the left. There appears to be a great deal of damage to both this room and the next one. Most of the wall separating the two is destroyed. It appears to have collapsed into this room based on the pile of rubble. It's also clear from desks, books, mugs, etc. that students were present here, or at least had recently been here when the place went to shit, most likely when the bombs hit. What's odd is the teacher's desk in this room still has one of the dishes with paste on it, with some splattered around it, as if someone was eating in a hurry, or people were fighting over the paste. And now, for the terminal. The terminal belongs to one Henry Smith, supposedly a teacher, and the entry is a complaint letter draft, so the ghouls may also have been teachers, as both them and the students were forced to consume nothing but this paste. It's also clear the behavioural effects on the raider were not exclusive to them, as the number of students attending the principal's office increased, probably for bad behaviour. He also notes the students seem more pink, which then confirms the ghouls are likely the remains of those who ate the paste, both them and the students. Also, if the program just launched on the 18th, the bombs hit on the 23rd, that means the change in skin colour and behaviour happened in a matter of days, like 5. So this paste is Voltec levels of sorcerous fuck-uppery. Across the hall is another classroom, in a slightly better state of repair, and despite centuries and a lot of ghouls, there is of course a bear posed in an amusing position, perhaps mimicking what a child would look like if they were at school, though I suppose the raiders that we know were here could have done it. Though how they didn't get mauled by the ghouls is beyond me. Out in the hall we can find this locker full of drink, though whether it belonged to a student or someone stuck here after the bombs, I'm not sure. The next classroom is one on the left here, and it's just as shit as the other 3, though not as bad as the one next door. The wall is caved in again, and either they were all just poorly made, or someone broke them. The ceiling in this room is caved in as well. One thing to consider is that, since this building was closer to the impact site, it took more damage, and as a result some of the weakened sections gave way. Across the hall from these two, we find the cause of all the shenanigans in this building. Plungers. The cause of most of the madness and murder that occurs within the Fallout universe. Further down this hallway we find the remains of who I assume was the janitor, who appears to have died in the middle of his job. So presumably before it all kicked off, as it would be kind of pointless to do his job after the bombs dropped. The school dining hall is next, and it appears to be the source of the paste. The tables are coated in the stuff, have finished meals thrown about the place or slopped onto the ground. However, it's unlikely it was left in this state before the bombs hit, so it would have to be after. The paste seems to have been dispensed from these fire hose-like pipes, and it seems to have been a very messy system. In the back room we can find the machine that may have created, or at least distributed, the paste to these pipes. It looks like whatever was in the buckets was poured into it, and then mushed up and broken down. The buckets are empty, so we can't be sure what it was made from, but from the volume of barrels in here and how it looks like some were brought in recently, it appears that whatever was in the buckets was in these barrels. The room to the left looks like the remains of the kitchen, and it is full of the same type of barrels that are found inside the room with the machine. It seems the kitchen was retired after they made the switch to only paste, and instead they went and used it for storage for barrels, which contained the ingredients for the paste. On the podium back in the hall, we can find the next announcement, this one for the 20th.
Good morning, teachers and students. It is a fabulous Wednesday here at Suffolk County Charter School. The Glee Club is having their seasonal bake sale today, so stop by and show your support so we can send our team to the regionals. Remember, actual baked goods are forbidden on school grounds, so they will be selling colorful cups for your food paste. Oh, also, we will be having a school assembly during second period tomorrow on the dangers of strangers by Jangles, the moon monkey himself. Once again, we would like to thank our benefactors from the NAPP program for allowing us to have such a big star come and speak to you kids. We owe our benefactors strict adherence to the rules they have set forth. This is Principal Hudson, signing off. Have a great day.
Okay, so even the fundraisers are beholden to these shit new rules, which is fucking ridiculous, as if everyone is already complaining about the food, and we assume the food was provided for free as there wasn't an alternative, then no one's going to pay fucking money for it. Also, I've been making jokes that Jangles the Moon Monkey is creepy over the past few episodes. I did not know it was an icon for stranger danger. I swear. Lucky guess by me. So this basement area contains a lot more of those containers, as well as a few supplies. Also, brick foundations for this building look extremely feeble. In one corner of this basement we come to what is certainly a survivor of the bombs, though clearly they died after. It's also one of the first indications that a struggle was going on for the paste. It would have been the only food in the building for the survivors, but it was surely limited. This person hid all the way down here, and had a stealth boy, suggesting they were using it to sneak into the building and get some paste. It appears they were attacked and there was a struggle. Paste was knocked about and some may have been taken. Also, based on the other mattress, they may not have been alone. The other possibility is that people began to go insane and attack each other, with only some surviving. However, this terminal allows us to unlock the door in the first place and sort of turns a lot of these theories in the head. It opens up the possibility that the dead person was locked in there, maybe by whoever was in the other mattress, and that they were being given the paste to survive, and possibly planned to escape using the stealth boy. The rest of the basement is innocent enough, only providing us with a fusion core. The elevator takes us to the next part of the building, and from there, we can head upstairs. This floor is even worse than the one below, but offers more in the way of the dead. First up is the staff room on the left. A dead woman can be found on a chair, just as we enter, and more dispensers of paste along with a dead fellow. It's clear that once again there was some sort of struggle, though I'm unsure whether or not these two were involved in it, or just no one bothered their arse to move their corpses. Which, to be fair, given that the people here alive were either insane or feral, it's pretty understandable. This area looks out over the school dining hall and the foyer, along with leading to a library that we'll soon explore. Down this hallway and to the left is another classroom, which at first glance seems innocent enough. However, under the teacher's desk is a chem cooler, and on top of the desk is a note. It seems a Mr. Henderson missed some sort of quota, and that whoever wrote the note had spots to fill in. I'm not sure if this has to do with drugs or the NAPP. However, the Mr. Henderson in question is found dead near some cabinets behind the desk, and the presence of the note suggests that it's possible he did not die due to the blast, but for some other reason. Next door to this room is the chemistry lab. Down the back is a safe with some decent enough loot, and yet another dead body, though this one seems more likely to have died due to the blast. However, it's the wall opposite that is weird. A woman can be found dead in here. She has a suitcase with her and seems to have taken shelter here and tried to break through into the next room, or someone from the next room tried to break through to her. Perhaps she was another one of the survivors, though beyond that, I'm not sure why she's here. Next is the library. It's a mess. Large parts of it are collapsed and several bodies are lying near these collapsed parts. More paste can be found here, as well as handprints on several bookcases and other objects, which suggests that the paste crazed were at least partly responsible for its current dilapidated state. Also worth noting, you can use the book return to teleport into the room from the outside, if you want to avoid going all the way around. Over by the terminal is an issue of the Unstoppables, which I already took, and the final announcement from the principal, this one for the 22nd.
Happy Friday all. The NAPP program launched this week with success, but not without problems. I hate to have to throw away your mother's carefully packed lunches, but I am afraid we must put our foot down on this issue. I am assured all of you will get used to the flavor of the paste. Also, I have been informed that flavor varieties will be on their way pending continued success of the program. How exciting! To those complaining, I will repeat. There are absolutely no psychological or physical side effects from participation in the NAPP. Any observed effect is assuredly psychosomatic, and possibly related to a lack of trust in the government. Remember, our participation in the NAPP not only helps our school, but in the long run benefits our nation. Thank you for your attention. This is Principal Hudson, signing off.
Well, she went straight for the patriotic jugular and all but called anyone disagreeing a communist. Or, she insists that there are no behavioural or physical side effects, despite the increase in kids visiting her office and complaints from staff, though there is a chance the letter was never actually seen given it was a draft. If the teacher noticed it, however, then the parents must have as well, or else there would be no reason to keep resisting the change and supply packed lunches. She, however, was being greedy and wanted the continued funding. The Suffolk County Charter School, a formerly thriving school, that quickly went to shit after participating in the Nutritional Alternative Paste Program, which bears a striking resemblance to a similar program run in the US, pink slime. It was the only form of food to be allowed in the school. It seems to have been made by pulping or crushing what was stored in all those barrels in the kitchen, although we don't know what was actually in the barrels. Probably people. However, within a week, at least one teacher noticed a physical change in the students, them becoming pink, and a decline in behaviour. It is assumed the others did as well, as she had to make several other announcements, the last on Friday of the same week the program launched, meaning the effect it had on students occurred in a matter of 3 to 5 days? We also see how it affected a reader, in that they went insane and killed all their friends, and possibly themselves. Once again, quite a short time frame. I'm not sure why so many people will be in the school on a Saturday, when the bombs went off, unless the ghouls we saw are the remains of people who broke in later, and the teachers and janitor that we found were there for some other reason, I'm not sure. Regardless, the effects of the pink paste persisted, and is still affecting the skin colour of the ghouls who inhabit the school to this day, though whether they were the students or teachers or people who came in after, we don't know. From some of the corpses we find and the paste being slung around as it was, along with behavioural effects it was known to cause, some sort of fight may have occurred between an unknown number of survivors at the time when they were still alive, most likely over the paste, which was sure to be the only source of food in the school, as all others were forbidden. In the end, however, the only truly important thing to remember is that the pink paste made the ghouls all look like hairless cocks. The shittiest replacement for food ever, and the remains of the poor sods who ate it. I hope you liked this look at all of it. If you did like it, give the video a like, and if you want regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions for lore or future videos should be left in the comments below. Better yet, go onto my subreddit so we can discuss them in more detail. It's linked in the description. I have a Patreon, and if you'd like to support me, go check it out. I ask for $1 or a quid, I don't really know if it changes based on location. No more, no less. Go take a look at the rewards, and if there is something you would like to see as a reward, please suggest it to me. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular updates or have a wee chat. Any business you wish to discuss, email me at thenthapple.business@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.